happy holidays, everyone.
Happy days of Hall.
Whatever you celebrate, yes. We at one point had matching sweaters, and
She threw them away because she hates me.
I don't know where they are. We were gonna get new ones this year anyways, which I'm still planning on. So
They had to be really ugly.
yeah,
Apparently.
yeah. So apologize, but we do have hats thanks to Casey's job. You got them what, last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you hear the air conditioner, well, the heating system,
It's cold.
it's very cold outside. Typically whenever we record, we like to turn it off, but it's cold, so you just have to deal with the sound. We've almost survived the holiday season.
I'm dead on the inside.
It's been crazy. They've been good, just chilling all afternoon, and now that we sat down to record, they're acting crazy. So, What else is new?
Children.
Right. This will be our last one for the year.
I'll see you folks next year.
And then we're gonna take a couple of weeks off because hopefully something will finally happen that we've been waiting to happen. Fingers crossed. So we will be wrapping things up and getting other things settled and just making sure that everything is smooth before we start recording again. So the season is not over. We're just going to take a couple weeks to do what we need to do. And
We
all
got
that
big
good
plans,
stuff.
okay?
Yeah. So it'll be really cool when it happens. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I am really excited because I have always loved what we're going to talk about today, and whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant because it is the most metal thing ever.
It's me, isn't it?
Yes, it's you. No, it's Krampus. It's you. Do you know anything about Krampus?
Considering my background, no.
Right. Casey's religion that he grew up with did not celebrate holidays. I had to, what was it last year or 2020? What did you call the manger scene? Was it like the Jesus family portrait or something?
Yeah, I couldn't describe it, so I called it the Jesus family portrait.
Yeah, he was trying to explain it, I think, to a friend.
No, there's one on my route, and the baby kind of looks like Cartman. I was trying to describe it. It's the Jesus family portrait.
You guys go somewhere. Yeah, so but so I think it was last year that I introduced Casey to some of the old claymation style Christmas movies I grew up watching.
I mean, I had seen parts of them in passing. It's not like I just was sheltered to the fact that things existed.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they existed.
But you hadn't, like, sat down and...
No, I'd never just watched one through.
Yeah, we watched, what, Rudolph?
Yeah. The only Christmas movie I ever watched, like, through was A Christmas Story. And that's because my dad loves that movie.
Yeah.
And you'll shoot your eye out.
But, yeah, so... watching that with you last year was really fun. I think this year I want to do the Year Without a Santa Claus because it's got Heat Miser and Snow Miser. So at some point I want to watch that with you.
Should I tell your mom the theory? We should watch Rudolph. I'll tell her my theory of Rudolph.
Yes. We're not going to go into it here, but Casey has a detailed theory of Rudolph, and frankly, it's very screwed up. But exactly, like, it's a whole thing. It's very drama-filled, and I would have never thought of the things that you thought of. It was interesting. But yeah, so Krampus, I have always thought Krampus was really cool. My family's ancestry originates through Ireland, Scotland, Germany, all the way back to Scandinavia, and I love looking at that kind of stuff. And so I was looking for a holiday topic for us, and I thought Krampus would be really fun. So hopefully,
I don't like Krampus myself. It's a real pain in the stomach.
Whatever. Anyways, so grab a cup of hot cocoa and and your favorite holiday snack, and snuggle up. We chose to sit in the floor today. I don't know. It reminds me of like
I already can't feel my left foot
when I was younger.
It's asleep.
And Casey's having a hard time. But anyways, here we go.
Oh, what do we got here?
No, I'm reading. Don't read over my shoulder.
Bullies me.
Anyways, Krampus is a horned anthropomorphic figure in the Central and Eastern Alpine folklore of Europe, who, during the Advent season, scares children who have misbehaved. Assisting St. Nicholas or Santa Claus, the pair visit children on the night of the 5th of December. We missed it this year, sorry. With St. Nicholas rewarding the well-behaved children with modest gifts such as oranges, dried fruit, walnuts, and chocolate, while the badly behaved ones only receive punishment from Krampus with birch rods, like birch limbs, like switches, like a hickory.
Now this is my question.
Okay.
Final Fantasy Advent Children, is that just Final Fantasy Christmas Children? Is that
Maybe.
what it means?
What if it was? What if it was actually a Christmas movie?
Nice.
So the origin of the figure or entity is unclear. Some folklorists and anthropologists have postulated it is having a pre-Christian origin, which it's definitely something pagan, so that makes a lot of sense. In traditional parades and in such events as the Krampuslauf, English is Krampus Run, young men participate dressed as Krampus in an attempt to scare the audience with their antics. Such events occur annually in most alpine towns. Krampus is featured on holiday greeting cards called Krampuskarten. I hope I'm saying these things right. I practiced when I wrote this.
I really messed that up. It's got Krampus in it.
The history of the Krampus figure has been theorized, stretching as far back, and the celebrations that are involving were dating back to the 6th and 7th century CE. There are no written sources, however, before the end of the 16th century, so like what would it be, the 1500s? Isn't that how that would work?
Yep.
Yeah. Stop reading over my shoulder. Anyways, during his observations in 1975 while in Erding, a small town in Styria, anthropologist John J. Honigman wrote that the St. Nicholas festival we are describing incorporates cultural elements widely distributed in Europe, in some cases going back to pre-Christian times or pagan times. Nicholas himself became popular in Germany around the 11th century. The feast dedicated to this patron of children is only one winter occasion in which children are the objects of special attention, others being Martinmas, the feast of the Holy Innocents, and New Year's Day. Masked devils acting boisterously and making nuances of themselves are known in Germany since at least the 16th century, while animal masked devils combining dreadful comic antics appeared in the medieval church plays. A large literature, much of it by European folklorists, bears in these subjects. Austrians in the community we studied are quite aware of heathen elements, pagan elements, being blended in with Christian elements in the St. Nicholas customs and their traditional winter ceremonies. They believe Krampus derives from a pagan supernatural who was assimilated into the Christian devil. So like they compared him to what the Christian devil would be. which was very common in...
Still is.
The Krampus figures persisted, and by the 17th century, Krampus had been incorporated into Christian winter celebrations by pairing him with Saint Nicholas. Although Krampus appears in many variations, most share some common physical characteristics. He is hairy, usually brown or black, and has cloven hooves and the horns of a goat. His long pointed tongue lolls out. And he has fangs or really large teeth.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Yeah, I would party with Krampus. Krampus is also known to carry change, thought to symbolize the binding of the devil by the Christian church. I think he's just super metal, and he just thinks they're a cool accessory.
I thought you said change, like coins and stuff.
No, chains.
I thought he was
just like handing out quarters and stuff.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, like I said, he's just metal. He thrashes his chains. I'm going to say change. He thrashes his chains for dramatic effect. The chains are sometimes accompanied with bells of various sizes.
So he's a drama queen.
Yeah. That's why I think we would get along perfectly. Of more pagan origins is the root, a bundle of birch branches that Krampus carries, and with which he occasionally swats children. I actually have a really funny story about that I'm going to tell at the end of this.
More children should be got with a root.
Sometimes Krampus appears with a sack or a basket strapped to his back. This is to cart off evil children for drowning, eating, or transporting to hell. Wow, Krampus. Some of the
trying to sprinkle in that Christianity.
Some of the older versions make mention of naughty children being put in the bag and taken away. So I'm going to there's different types of celebrations for Krampus, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce these. I've never taken German or anything like that, so
I have a flawless German accent.
So I'm gonna try my hardest. So
let me get that first one.
It's Krampusnacht.
Krampusnacht.
Oh my god, it's Krampusnacht. The feast of Saint Nicholas is celebrated in parts of Europe on the 6th of December. On the preceding evening of the 5th, Krampus night or Krampusnacht, the wicked, hairy devil appears on the streets, sometimes accompanying Saint Nicholas and sometimes on his own. Krampus visits homes and businesses. The saint usually appears in the Eastern rite vestments of a bishop, and he carries a golden ceremonial staff. Unlike North American versions of Santa Claus, in these celebrations, Saint Nicholas concerns himself with only the good children, while Krampus is responsible for the naughty children. Nicholas dispenses gifts, while Krampus supplies coal and the root, the pachow.
Well, at least the kids can warm their homes with all the coal.
The other one is called Perchtenlauf. A seasonal play that spread throughout the Alpine regions was known as Nicholas Spell or Nicholas Play, inspired by Paradise Plays, which focused on Adam and Eve's encounter with the tempter. The Nicholas Plays featured competition for the human souls and played on the question of morality. In these Nicholas Plays, Saint Nicholas would reward children for scholarly efforts rather than for good behavior. This is a theme that grew in Alpine regions where the Roman Catholic Church had significant influence.
I'm sorry, she's getting my fingers.
Binks, move them. She's naughty.
Out. I can't help it.
Man,
he's over there.
I know
too.
they are waiting to be naughty.
Krampus schnotz.
There were already established pagan traditions in the Alpine regions that became intertwined with Catholicism. People would masquerade as devilish figures known as Perch, or two-legged humanoid goat with giraffe-like neck wearing animal furs. I'm just trying to picture that. Hi, Bean. People wore costumes and marched in processions known as Perchtenlaufen, which are regarded as an earlier form of the Krampus runs. Perched and Laufen were looked at with suspicion by the Catholic Church and banned by some civil authorities. Due to sparse population and rugged environments within the Alpine region, the ban was not effective or easily enforced, rendering the ban useless. Eventually, the Perchtenlauf, inspired by the Nicholas plays, introduced Saint Nicholas and his set of good morals. The perch transformed into what is known as the Krampus and was made to be subjected to Saint Nicholas's will. It's interesting so far when you think about it, like the various regions, how they interpret Krampus. You know what I mean?
It's just like here, various regions, how they interpret Dale Earnhardt.
Praise Hail, praise Dale. Anyways.
You don't get that in the north.
Anyways, we're going to take a break real quick, and then there's a few more that I'm going to talk about, and then I will kind of go into what interested me so much about, and what I really want to try to do next year for a Christmas card to send out to you guys, because I think it would be really fun to do.
I got a Christmas card?
Well, to send out next year, like we take photos and then send them out. But anyways, we'll be right back. Welcome back. So, I'm gonna talk a couple more things about Krampus, and then I want to talk about what I've seen on the internet that I think is really funny. And sometimes at night when I can't sleep, because as you all know, I battle insomnia constantly, I kind of giggle and then I sleep really well. Anyways, so we have Krampuslauf.
This sounds like a bread.
This, I think Krampus and I would love to hang out. Don't read on my shoulder. Anyways, it is customary to offer Krampus schnapps, a strong distilled fruit brandy. Heck yes, Krampus. These runs may include Perchten, a similarly wild pagan spirits of Germanic folklore and sometimes female in representation, although the Perchten are properly associated with the period between the winter solstice and January 6th. So, while you offer him schnapps, there's also like the Perchten that you make offerings to during that time as well. This is very similar things.
Stick with the schnapps.
Yeah, heck yeah, Krampus.
Drink a little bit with him.
Yeah, I would. So, Krampusgarten is where, Europeans have been exchanging greeting cards featuring Krampus since the 19th century, so since the 1800s. Sometimes introduced with Grob vom Krampus, which means greetings from Krampus. The cards, wouldn't that be hilarious?
What's up, guys?
He's just got like birch,
Yeah, just drink it.
The cards usually have humorous rhymes and poems. Krampus is often featured looming menacingly over children. He is also shown as having one human foot and one cloven hoof.
That would suck to walk around.
It really
just got
would.
one foot.
Like, would you have to wear heels on your other foot? You know what I mean? Because the foot's
just rocking the heel. I can see it.
The foot is flat and then the other one's up. Would he do platforms or stilettos?
Stiletto height.
Oh, stilettos.
Full on, yeah. Why would he do platforms?
He would just be walking around in his one stiletto like a drunk girl leaving the club on New Year's Eve.
That's how he picks up guys. He just like hangs that one leg out around the corner.
Yeah.
And they're like, why is that leg
That's
so
how he
hairy?
gets the naughty teenage boys.
He's like, why is the leg so hairy?
And then he just like hits them with the birch.
Gets him with the birch. Laughs and brandy.
In some of the cards, Krampus has sexual overtones. He is pictured pursuing buxom women, or bustious women. Over time, the representation of Krampus in the cards has changed. Older versions have a more frightening Krampus, while modern versions have a cuter, more Cupid-like representation. Like, he's been cartoonized, essentially.
So I thought you said that he was after Books A Million, pursuing...
He's also on postcards and candy containers. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to have canisters that have Krampus on them. Like candy canisters, that would be so neat.
Get you some birch rods and I'll carve Krampus into them.
So Krampus appears in folklore going through Austria, Bavaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Northern Italy, Autonomous Province of Trento, South Tyrol, Slovakia, Slovenia. Like, he's kind of everywhere.
It's all within walking distance. He's got this. He's got hooves.
So in Styria, the root is presented by Krampus to families. The twigs are painted gold and displayed year-round in the house as a reminder, don't be little shits or you're gonna get Krampus. In smaller, more isolated villages, the figure has other beastly companions, such as the antlered wild man.
Ooh.
And St. Nicholas is nowhere to be seen. These Styrian companions of Krampus are called Schabmanner or Rauhin. Rauhin? Rauhin.
Rauhin.
Rauhin. You don't have to purr at it. Wow. Anyways, a toned down version of Krampus. Casey and
Ever
his...
got campused?
Krampus?
Krampus?
Dyslexia. A toned down version of Krampus is part of the popular Christmas markets in Austrian urban centers like Salzburg. In these more tourist-friendly interpretations of Krampus, he is portrayed as more humorous than he is fearsome. However, this is where I got excited. Now, I want to do my research because I want to have like a traditional experience, not a, I'm not going to say call and act experience, but you know what I mean, where it has like, it's not the actual traditions, it's what we turn them. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I want to do that, but North American Krampus celebrations are a growing phenomenon. There are parades, block parties, and you even get your picture with Krampus. I want my picture with Krampus. I want to go to one of these parades, honestly.
Can I wear the heels?
Yeah, we could make costumes. Oh, we could make costumes next year.
I just gonna beat people with reeds.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get into that. Hold on.
Ah.
So similar figures are recorded in neighboring areas. Strabart in Bavaria, Kablaufmann in Austria, Bavaria, while Bartel or Bartel, Niglo Bartel, War Bartel are used in southern parts of the country. Other names include Beryl or Bartholomeus, that's in Styria, Schmutzli, German-speaking Switzerland, Popel or Hule Popel in Wurzburg. I'm doing the best I can, stop laughing. Zimber or Cheb. Some of these names are very confusing.
Sounds like a really... like
Belsmarte or Pelsmartel in Swabia and Franconia. In most parts of Slovenia, whose culture was greatly affected by Austrian culture, Krampus is called Parkelj and is one of the companions of Miklavs, the Slovenian form of St. Nicholas. In many parts of Croatia, Krampus is described as a devil wearing a cloth sack around his waist and chains around his neck, ankles, and wrists, as part of a tradition where a child receives a gift from St. Nicholas. He is given a golden branch to represent his good deeds throughout the year. However, if the child has misbehaved, Krampus will take the gifts for himself and leave only a silver branch to represent the child's bad acts.
Well, at least he still gives him something.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Odin. You want to come here? Come here. You guys can't see him, but he coming along. Do you want to be a part of it? What do you think about Krampus, Odin? Oh, he sees himself. Odin's a good boy. He'd never see Krampus. Would you?
He get the silver branch.
He get the gold branch.
No,
He's
he
good.
get the silver branch.
Oh.
See? He threw the
He
murder
reached out
mitt.
to touch you. Touch his little hand. No, yeah. Oh, he grabbed it, didn't he, buddy? But anyways, so again, I've always loved Krampus, but I saw this TikTok. Okay, this is where all this rooted from. They were doing a Krampus parade in Europe, probably Austria or somewhere, and this person dressed as Krampus had the birch bundle and was beating the shit out of people. He would just walk by and smack them, and of course everyone's drunk and they're just having a good time laughing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was intense. You're gonna upset him.
That's fine.
But so that was one that I saw, and then another one was, and I don't know why it didn't talk about this in my research. I don't know if this is something like new that has started. Huh, buddy? Something new that has started. But Krampus had like a huge mug
That was
or
for the
chalice.
brandy.
It's for the schnapps. I mean, it was huge, but there's ones where, you know, you got Saint Nicholas walking, and he's in all white, and then you got Krampus, or someone dressed as Krampus, and they've got the chains and the bells and the basket and everything, and they're waving their chalice around, or what is it? It's not chalice. What's the word I'm looking for?
Stein?
Yes, their stein, and wanting people to put alcohol in it,
That's often what I do with my Stein.
which I thought was really cool. But I was looking it up, and there's actually, I think Kentucky did a Krampus parade,
Did they? Did you all?
or South Carolina, somewhere where I want to look next year, and maybe we can drive to it. They did it like a Krampus parade, followed by like a big block party.
That sounds legit.
Honestly, I think it would be so much fun. I think it'd be really fun. I think Krampus, I mean, I don't think Krampus actually exists. I'm just going to say it. But I think
What
he's
if it was
a really
the
cool piece
goat
of...
man and it's just...
What if, like, the Go Man was, like, out one winter just doing his thing, like, tending to whatever, and these kids were on his nerves, so he grabbed some birches, smacked him, and now he's Krampus.
They were drunk, so he's like, give me your schnapps.
Yeah, he's a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, he just asked him for a cigarette and walked off.
But, like, I think the idea of Krampus is really cool. The folklore behind it is super cool, and I think it's hilarious and amazing. He has to stretch out when he lays on me. It's so cute. His little hands, I wish I could show you guys. He's so perfect. But I think Krampus is metal as hell. Do you think Krampus is metal, buddy? Yeah, he'd be terrified of Krampus.
He's terrified of Earth.
He's a little bit of a weenie.
He kind of a weenie.
He's a little boy, though. So the real question is, Casey,
That's my words.
will Krampus darken your doorstep this year?
Honestly, I hope by the end of the year I don't have a doorstep. So...
Foreshadowing. But say...
Foreshadowing would darken. My God.
But say, like, you know...
Are you trying to ask if I've
circumstances were
been good
different.
or bad?
Do you think Krampus... He smells popcorn. Do you think Krampus would show up? He's chewing on my fingernail. Stop. Anyways, do you think Krampus... Say you went to a Krampus celebration, do you think he would swat you with his thing? Or would he give you a golden branch?
He doesn't give you the golden branch.
And some of them he does. And the last one I read, he gives you the golden one if you're good, the silver one if you're bad, and he takes your gifts. It's down there. I just read it.
No.
I think you're stalling because you've been bad.
I was reading it that Saint Nick gave you the golden branch.
In
Sorry.
one variation he does, in this one he doesn't.
So you're trying to ask if I've been naughty or nice?
Yeah, like, do you think Krampus would beat the heck out of you, or do you think he'd be like, I
plead the fifth. Yeah.
I think
I'm always best boy.
I think Krampus would see us and be like, you know what? Hell yeah, those guys are great. And then we would be like, hey,
here's our cat, and he'd give him a silver branch.
we have our steins. You want to grab some schnapps with us? And Krampus would be like, oh hell yeah! And then his little
like that.
And then his little hooves. What if he did? What if he sounded like Lemon Drop? You don't know. Anyways, he had his little hooves, and he'd be like click 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 click, or his heel and his hoof, and then we would just hang out and drink with Krampus and have a great time, and maybe invite Saint Nick whenever he's done like being a goody two shoes.
Doesn't it ever say where his foot is? What if he just has it like on one of his chains around his neck?
I mean, what if he does? Who knows?
Not I, Saint Nick. Not I.
But, I mean, anyways, I really enjoy Krampus. I have enjoyed recording this episode. I'm so distracted because he's so cute. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode and at least you learned a little bit of something. Definitely go, bye buddy. Definitely go and do more research and check it out because I think it's just super cool. I love folklore like that. I think it's super fascinating. I think it's super important for other cultures and religions. Oh, are you coming back? No? Maybe? What did you think?
Krampus is a pretty cool guy.
You think he's pretty metal?
Yeah. Yeah, I hang out with him.
Yeah. But, I mean, from us to you guys, our little family, to your families, we hope that you have a great holiday season and celebrate in your ways and just have a good time. Hopefully we will be having a good time. This episode's going to go up a few days before Christmas this week. Just so we can spend time with our families and you can spend time with yours. And we will hopefully have some updates for you in a couple weeks. So, fingers crossed. Cross your fingers for us, guys. But thank you guys again. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate. I hope it's fantastic. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Don't start with my hat. You're being naughty. Krampus is watching. Bye, guys.